Before I became this person, it was a dark place I came from, a place of negativity, a place of, just being unruly. Well, the thing about me is actually a specific story about one of my homeboys passing away that I seen pass in front of my eyes that really turned everything around full circle. So when you go to a track like Dying of Thirst, and that same day we was getting a spoken word from an elderly lady telling us about God, I really based them two tracks together because that was a situation that happened at the exact same time.
Kendrick Lamar didn't just change hip-hop, he broke the algorithm. While most artists chase viral trends, Kendrick became one. From cryptic lyrics to powerful visuals, he's reshaped how artists move on TikTok and how fans interact with music itself. But the real story, the quiet revolution Kendrick sparked behind the scenes, and it's deeper than you think. Before TikTok, Kendrick Lamar was already a cultural giant. But when the platform took over the internet, many expected artists like him to fade into the background. Kendrick did the opposite. He didn't flood TikTok with dance challenges. Instead, clips of his raw performances, interviews, and lyrics began popping up organically. Users turned his deep verses into mini-movies. Without a single post, Kendrick became one of the most quoted rappers on TikTok, without even trying. While most trends on TikTok revolved around dance beats and catchy one-liners, Kendrick's content moved differently. His verse from All Right became an anthem during social justice protests. Teens used his lyrics to express frustration, hope, and identity. His presence wasn't about selling, but about storytelling. Kendrick's art forced people to pause, replay, and reflect. He didn't just trend, he resonated. Kendrick's lyrics from songs like DNA and Humble started appearing in videos that had nothing to do with music. Whether someone was showing off success or highlighting struggle, Kendrick's lines fit. His lyricism carried multiple meanings, and TikTok creators loved it. It gave them layers to play with. No other artist had lyrics that matched so many moods, all in under 60 seconds. When Kendrick won the Pulitzer Prize, it wasn't just a moment for him. It marked a shift in what could go viral. His critical acclaim gave TikTok creators permission to treat his work as poetry, not just rap. Booktokers analyzed his verses. Creators dramatized lines like monologues. His art crossed genres and platforms. Kendrick didn't need flashy hooks. His substance was the spectacle. One of Kendrick's most iconic lines, "We gon' be alright," spread like wildfire on TikTok. Not as a dance, but as a movement. Users in Brazil, Nigeria, London, and the US used it to soundtrack videos of resistance, healing, and power. The phrase became bigger than the song, and Kendrick once again sat back and let the culture carry his work worldwide. Unlike other rappers who jump into every trend, Kendrick barely posts, yet his presence never fades. This mysterious silence makes every Kendrick-related TikTok feel more valuable. When you see a Kendrick clip, it feels intentional, even if it's not. This absence has become part of his brand. Speak less, say more. It's a digital ghost strategy that's working. A surprising trend began on TikTok. Creators analyzing Kendrick's bars like academic lectures. His lyrics from songs like Feel and The Blacker the Berry became the subject of 60-second think pieces. Gen Z treated him like a philosopher. It wasn't just rap anymore, it was literature, history, and therapy all in one. These deep dives pushed Kendrick's legacy into classrooms and dorm rooms, all via short-form videos. Even Kendrick's style got attention. His Mr. Morale era, with the crown of thorns, the glitched-out visuals, the ballet shoes, sparked fashion and aesthetic TikToks. People started copying his fits or using his visuals to tell symbolic stories. Even his dramatic stage entrance from the Glastonbury performance was turned into memes and mood edits. He didn't just drop music, he dropped a visual blueprint for TikTok to remix. In a platform driven by catchy hooks and dances, Kendrick's rise feels almost accidental. But that's his genius. His music is timeless and layered. Users stumbled upon old Kendrick verses and breathed new life into them. A line from 2011 might trend in 2023. That's unheard of. He's proof that quality content doesn't expire. In a platform driven by catchy hooks and dances, Kendrick's rise feels almost accidental. But that's his genius. His music is timeless and layered. Users stumbled upon old Kendrick verses and breathed new life into them. A line from 2011 might trend in 2023. That's unheard of. He's proof that quality content doesn't expire. Kendrick's music became the go-to sound for real stories. Poverty, mental health, loss. TikTokers opened up while his music played in the background. It wasn't clout chasing, it was therapy. His verses spoke what many couldn't put into words. You, Pride, and Feel were soundtracks for healing. Kendrick's honesty gave others permission to be real online, even on a platform built on filters. When Kendrick released Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, TikTok didn't know what to do with it. There were no club bangers. Instead, it was raw storytelling, family trauma, accountability, therapy. But slowly, creators found their rhythm. They started stitching stories about fatherhood, breakups, and self-growth to tracks like Father Time. TikTok, often shallow, was now getting deep, and Kendrick led that wave. Kendrick's music opened a strange new door on TikTok. Users turned his songs into therapy sessions. Videos of people crying to Mother I Sober or sharing generational trauma stories over Father Time filled the platform. These weren't trends, they were revelations. His vulnerability helped others express their own pain in a space that usually prioritizes surface-level content. Kendrick wasn't just streaming music, he was igniting self-reflection. Certain Kendrick lines took on lives of their own. "I choose me, I'm sorry," became a TikTok mantra for choosing mental health over toxic relationships. It popped up in breakup montages, soft life transitions, and glow-up transformations. His lyrics, once studied in hip-hop circles, now guided TikTok self-help journeys. Kendrick's words weren't just bars, they were blueprints for inner peace. When protests surged globally, Kendrick's "All Right" returned in force. But now with choreography, TikTok creators turned it into protest dance routines, freedom marches, and affirmations of resilience. What started as a protest anthem became a healing dance. Creators of color especially reclaimed it as movement and message. Kendrick didn't need to trend. His art naturally found its moment. Some of the biggest TikTok creators started teaching Kendrick's lyrics like school professors. Users created explainer videos about double entendres, historical references, and metaphors Kendrick used in The Hard Part 5 or Sing About Me. He blurred the line between art and education. And TikTok, usually known for fast content, became a lecture hall. Because Kendrick demanded that depth, a wave of young artists on TikTok began citing Kendrick as a direct influence. You'd see freestyles tagged number inspired by Kendrick or storytelling raps over Lamar-style beats. He shifted the goal. Viral wasn't enough. Depth was back in demand. And these creators were blending honesty, vulnerability, and high-level lyricism like never before. Kendrick planted the seed, TikTok made it bloom. When users discovered Kendrick had won a Pulitzer Prize, it recontextualized everything. His fans proudly created content labeling him a Pulitzer-winning rapper, combining TikTok trends with awards show footage. That accolade made even skeptics take him seriously. Suddenly, TikTok wasn't just a platform for dance challenges, it was curating the legacy of one of the greatest artists of our time. Kendrick's track, United in Grief, struck a nerve across TikTok. Mental health creators used it as a soundtrack while discussing trauma, therapy journeys, and personal breakthroughs. The line, "I grieve different," became a quiet anthem, echoing through emotional montages and confessionals. Kendrick gave a generation permission to feel, to cry, and to admit their struggles without shame. His music made vulnerability viral. Kendrick's storytelling lit a fire in a new era of Black creators on TikTok. They weren't just mimicking him, they were using his blueprint to tell their own truths. From poems to spoken word to mini documentaries, they flooded the For You page with raw, unapologetic Black experiences. Kendrick didn't just trend, he empowered a whole cultural wave. N95 didn't just shake up American TikTok, it crossed borders. Creators from Africa, Europe, and Asia began using the track in videos addressing politics, personal liberation, and fake personas online. The chaotic beat and wild visuals inspired equally chaotic edits. Kendrick's rage was universal. The song's raw energy became the voice of rebellion for millions outside the US. Kendrick's distance from social media only fueled intrigue on TikTok. Fans began analyzing his every public move, creating cryptic theories about his next drop. Some compared him to a hip-hop ghost, disappearing, then reappearing with nuclear-level impact. His scarcity became the content. Kendrick didn't even have to post. His absence was louder than most influencers' feeds. As AI voices flooded TikTok, people started generating fake Kendrick verses, and fans were quick to call it out. While some were impressed, others said it exposed what makes Kendrick great. You can't fake soul. Even in the age of artificial talent, Kendrick's authenticity couldn't be replicated. TikTok gave him a mirror, and no clone came close. Kendrick's closing act on TikTok hasn't been written yet, but it's already changing lives. Young people use his music in graduation videos, healing journeys, and goodbye posts. His words have become scripture for a new era that's tired of masks and hungry for meaning. In the TikTok age of filters, Kendrick Lamar is pure truth. When TikTok creators discovered We Cry Together, it sparked a wave of dramatic duets. Couples, actors, even solo creators began reenacting the heated argument word for word. It wasn't just a trend, it became therapy. People reflected on toxic relationships, gender roles, and emotional violence. Kendrick's raw storytelling didn't just entertain, it forced people to confront their reality. Kendrick's rhythm and rhyme awakened a TikTok poetry renaissance. Teens and young adults began performing spoken word again, modern, raw, and rhythmic. His influence was in the cadence, the courage, and the silence between words. Kendrick made it cool to feel again, to speak pain without a beat. TikTok's For You page became a digital open mic. Mother I Sober cracked open emotional vaults on TikTok. Survivors of abuse, neglect, and generational trauma used it as background for some of the most vulnerable content on the platform. It wasn't just sad, it was sacred. Kendrick became a silent witness to pain that couldn't be spoken, only sung, cried, or whispered into a front-facing camera. Kendrick's old interviews resurfaced as TikTok memes, but fans quickly flipped them into affirmations. His "I'm not for everybody" clip turned into a declaration of independence. His verses about surviving trauma became motivational edits. While others chased trends, Kendrick created purpose. He didn't ask to go viral, he asked people to wake up. Unlike many artists, Kendrick never catered to TikTok. His songs are too long, too complex, too personal, and that's what made them perfect. The algorithm didn't choose him. People did. In an app driven by trends, Kendrick's presence proved that substance can still win. He hacked the system by staying human. Now, Kendrick's impact plays on endless loop. From day one fans to new listeners discovering his catalog through TikTok, his voice echoes everywhere. In a sea of short attention spans, he gave us something timeless. Every line, every drop, every TikTok, part of a larger narrative of pain, truth, and healing. Kendrick didn't just revolutionize TikTok, he reminded us why music matters.